guys, welcome to the Cozy Writing channel. So it's been a while. I took about a month off for just mental health reasons. It didn't really have a whole lot to do with the channel per se, but just I needed to get my head in a better space where I wasn't constantly worried about all the other things and I could just focus on the writing, and that's what puts me in my happy place. So that's what I leaned into. But I'm in a pretty good place right now. I've been working on the story like every day, nonstop, in between all the other stuff that happens with life. So here's a breakdown of what happened. So, as you may or may not know, I had to do some major edits with this version of the book. I thought it was finished. I sent it out to editors, well, editor singular, not plural, and I sent it out to my critique partner, and they both came back with intense feedback. And in a few parts, they agreed with each other. So they also agreed with other beta readers. And I decided to take that as, the universe, all the readers are telling me that this part needs to be changed. So I decided to change those pieces. And those pieces mainly were a couple of characters, namely Jack and Sam, who are young twins, not young, like they're in their 20s. So young adult twins who live down the road from where the story is taking place, and they were an integral part of the plot. But they were only an integral part of the plot in like the last half of the book, like the middle of Act 2 and onwards. So what I eventually decided to do was cut those two characters out. Now, because they were such integral parts of the plot, that meant the plot needed to be reworked. And that is not something I ever want to do again, especially at this late stage in the game where I felt like I was ready to start querying or ready to go published. This was not something I wanted to do that late. So basically what happened was the whole plot got rearranged, large parts of it got cut, large parts of it have had to be rewritten. And what it's ended up being is I took a large plot point from the book 2 that I was outlining, and I brought that into book 1. So the theory is that I set it up in book 1, continue it in book 2, and the bits that I'm cutting out from this version of book 1 will actually go into the second book. So hopefully I'm not just deleting months and months of work, because that would be so crushing. So I don't want to do that. So what I have been doing this last month is I rearranged the plot. I came up with new pieces and put them in place and then rearranged things and made it fit into a flowing, hopefully seamless plot. And then I started cutting up what was draft 5, because I'm calling this one that I'm working on right now draft 6. And holy hell, I never want to do 6 drafts again. But I started cutting up bits of draft 5 and draft 4 and just kind of plugging them into draft 6 where they fit, just kind of showing myself the places where I didn't need to rewrite things and they only need to be edited to flow with the rest of it. And that worked for about the first half of the novel. I ended up condensing chapters. I have made it a priority to fit within my 90 to 95,000 range, which before draft 5 and draft 4 are well over 100,000 words. And I know it was too long and it was always a problem. I didn't know where to cut it. So this actually, by doing another broad look at the plot and cutting things down, it gave me a really good chance to see where I could cut. I had to be just super surgical and precise with this, that some things just didn't work anymore, or they didn't work as well in this draft as they worked in the other draft, which is hard when that happens. When you have a passage that you like, that it really came together well and you're really pleased with it, but it works in no way, shape, or form in the current draft. I mean, that's hard to cut that. And I always put it in my later vault, maybe I can reuse it later, but some of these things I know they only worked in that one situation and it just happened to work really well. And the writing was really good and the character interaction was excellent, and it was just they were just really good scenes, and I hated to see them go, but what can you do? So I was cutting up the old drafts, putting them into the new one, and like I said, that really only worked until I got about halfway. Right now, I am currently working on chapter 10, which is the end of Act 2. My chapters are quite large now. I only have 15 of them, but each chapter is working out to be about 6,000 words, which is putting me just slightly over the 90,000 mark, which is a good place to be. That's exactly where I want to be. I have always wanted to be between 90 and 95,000. So it's working out really well. I mean, I complain constantly to like my husband and my critique partner that I don't want to do this. I never wanted to get this far into it. I wanted to get it out, get it done, and then go querying publishing with it. But I have every time I'm complaining to them about it, I'm always attacking on at the end. But you know what? This is the best version of the novel it has ever been. So this has got to be good, right? So now I'm at the point at the end of Act 2. Pretty much everything that's going to the novel at this point is a brand new rewrite. It's basically just like writing all over again. So this next week is actually spring break for us here at the house. My kids are home from school, and so Monday begins. I'm back to waking up at 5, back to doing my early morning writing because I can't write with kids in the house. It just does not work. So it kind of feels like I'm starting a new novel, which I'm not. I'm finishing an old one, but just my routine is going back to the writing stage, and it's nice in some ways, and in other ways it's kind of aggravating because I'm not starting a new project. I don't have that fresh, like, yeah, let's get this moving. I have that kind of trudging mentality of, while there are some very exciting things in the end of Act 3 that I'm excited to write about, it feels like I've done this. Well, it feels like I've done this 6 times already. So, whew. So this week's goal is basically I want to finish chapter 10. And as you can see here, I'm currently, since this was a brand new rewrite of the plot, and I'm finally getting to Act 3, chapter 11 actually begins Act 3. What I did is I just put the main points of the plot up here and just kind of like a plot timeline, like just telling me, okay, remember these are the major points that happen. And then I went down and made chapter lists, and I just dragged them down. It's like, okay, this is what happens. This is what needs to happen in this chapter. This is the order it's happening. And this is so far helping a lot. I had quite a bit of trouble with chapter 10. Just, those times when you're writing and just your brain doesn't work. It's not a good writing day, and it's pulling teeth, and things are not flowing the way you love them to flow, because everybody knows the flow days are the best days. That's when just things come together. So I've been trying to make little notes for inside chapter 10 about what happens. And even though something like a hunter attacking, like it's climbing out of the pit and it's attacking the coven of witches, that sounds really exciting, but in my head, for some reason, chapter 10 it feels slow and it feels boring. And if it feels slow and boring to me, I can't imagine what it would feel like to readers. So today I need to go over chapter 10 again, just reread what I wrote yesterday. I wrote about 2,700 words yesterday. My goal is to write 3,000 every day, so I didn't quite reach that goal. But the chapter, the what needed to happen inside the chapter, that the hunter comes out and everything attacks and then they fall into the pit, I wrote all that out. That happened, so I decided to stop because it was such a hard day that I decided to go back through and try to fix it today. So that's my goal for today is. I need to reread chapter 10, and I need to figure out what the hell is going on. Like I need to figure out what's breaking it. What is making things go badly? So it's good to be back. I've wanted to start jumping into doing videos again for a while, but life just didn't line up. Like, I would want to write, but that would be the day the kids are homesick, or the day cleaning crew was outside the window, out in the, like, cleaning the roads, like vacuuming up old leaves and washing the streets, and just loud noises or distractions, just, I don't know, just the stars didn't align to let me do this, and it feels good to be back. If I haven't stopped writing, clearly, I mean, I basically redid the whole draft 6 while I was off camera, but it's good to be back recording and talking to you guys and just knowing that I have that outlet where I can basically bitch and complain and tell you what's going on with my life. Thanks for watching, folks. As always, if you got this far in the video, you're awesome, you're amazing, and I will see you next time. Oh my god. I just did a whole 40-minute video talking to the camera about my editor, the process I went through with my editor. And I go down to click stop recording, and I had never hit record. And now it's loud outside. The neighbors are having their lawn done. And I'm just, man. I no longer have, I just basically spilled my guts for 40 minutes. And I don't have it in me to do it again. So hopefully the video about how my editor process went will eventually come out, because I will eventually record it. But oh my god, not right now.